We ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Scotch, bourbon, and rye, yeah, we on that whiskey. Wanna discuss an array of topics, conversation simply. Gonna drop your whiskey bars with the sip hitting for. Could you pass it? You want more? Another glass, let it flow. Steady pour. Steady pour. Yeah, a steady pour. A steady pour of growing, a steady pour of sharing, a steady pour of knowing. Now pass that Glen Carry. So pull up a chair, grab a glass, and enjoy a melanin-infused perspective with a whiskey twist. Yeah, yeah, a steady pour.
It's BBR, y'all. It's BBR, y'all. Hey. We on the road. I'm your poor coach, Drew.
Calvin.
Tony, what's up?
Gotta let the quiet go for Darius. He's not here because we on the road.
We miss you, brother.
We miss you. Oh, man. Welcome to a Steady Pour podcast. And like I said, and as you can see, we are on the road in Louisville, in the Ville.
Louisville.
Did I say it right? Louisville.
You said it right this time.
All right, yeah, they was getting on me. They was getting on me. And we're back for our annual return
That's right.
to the Black Bourbon Run.
Yes, sir.
The one that we always gotta make. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And we have a special guest, and I can't even say guest anymore. He's family.
Yeah, he's
family. Right
really
now.
another member.
Family on the
Yeah.
pod, right?
There you go. Yeah.
I always wish we had a jacket to give him.
None other than Paul, aka Black Bourbon Maverick, aka the architect of Black Bourbon Run, and we here at Black Bourbon Run 6.
Yes, sir.
What it do, Paul? What it
Sir,
do?
what's going on, y'all?
Oh man,
His 6 years went by quick.
These 6 days went by
Oh,
long.
right. My God. Long and short.
Long and short at the same time, for sure.
That's true.
Oh man, and I mean every year we try to figure out how you're gonna top the previous year.
I've stopped trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you're right. I stopped trying to you know what? Just Paul's gonna come through.
Let it ride.
Call it architecture.
Trust in Paul.
And sure enough, on our last day here, we can totally say you topped the previous one, man.
Appreciate
Best
that.
one yet. Best one yet.
And then on top of that, though, we also noticed that there were a lot more newbies this go around too.
Yeah.
And so it's just pretty awesome to see that the family's continuing to grow.
Yep.
We see the numbers on the jackets continuing to grow.
Right.
We're
Got
at
the triple
digits now.
digits. Right.
Triple digits.
Can it fit on the sleeve?
Right. So that was one of the things too. I was getting the jackets made, and I was asking the company that was making the jackets, and I was like, so can I go to 100 and do triple digits? Like, is it going to fit on the sleeve?
Right.
And they're like, well, as long as you don't get like a extra small, it should work. Like, all right, cool. So it looks pretty good too. Like, it's kind of cool.
does.
One of the members has 106, and I keep calling them 106 and part on his jacket. So
Nice.
it's definitely
good.
dope. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So coming into this BBR, was there anything specific that you were trying to make sure you accomplished this year? Anything different that you wanted to make sure that you did from the previous year?
A couple of things. So after every BBR, I always try to reach out to people, get some feedback. Saying, what things did you really, really like, so I can continue doing those things. What things could be done better, or things could be switched up different. And BBR is always those things where you're ripping and running, and you're in one event after the next. But there was a feedback of like, all right, let's not do everything at 9 in the morning, or let's not do everything back to back to back and not have food. And so, very intentional on having less things in the morning so people can have time to either go get their coffee, get their breakfast. Right. If they want to rip and run and go somewhere else before we have like the BBR events, they could do that as well. And then also kind of infusing food and into our bourbon experiences, and taking not just like, all right, let's go get everybody turkey sandwiches so they just so I can say they have food, but put it in a way where it speaks to the brand that is providing that food.
Right.
So you look at like Pablo and the brunch is very Pablo when you see it, right?
Yes.
You look at Oakley, it was very like Western Tex-Mex type of food because that speaks to their brand.
Right.
And we're here with Coach and Mugen Spirits, and what we just had, I mean, people will talk about it. People will see the videos, but like, I mean, they threw down and show it in a way that speaks to their culture and what they're trying to impose on their brand. So it's super dope.
Oh, that's
Yes.
oh
Nice.
man, that's awesome.
We
That's-
definitely noticed that conscious effort to provide that, and you succeeded.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate the intentionality too in receiving feedback. That's always important for companies, brands to do for when throwing events. And you definitely, it's not just something that you just do to do. You definitely take that information and see how you could make sure that you bring that the feedback to the next one. So that's really dope.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing that I have to give you mention for is the merch, my guy. The merch.
Fire.
I don't think I wore anything a steady poured today because the Black Bourbon Run the merch was just on fire. Like leading up to everything, the BBR6 one. What was the concept of the BBR6 shirt, the rings?
Yeah. So that was funny. Honestly, that idea didn't come until maybe 6 weeks before BBR6.
Wow.
When we did BBR4, we had the my bourbon fantasy shirt, right? Had it in different colors. Everyone loved that. And last year had a bar crawl T-shirt, but not necessarily like a BBR5 shirt or some type of merch at all that was really released last year. I thought the fantasy shirt was kind of like surviving on its own. Then it did the Basquiat shirt early this the year, just to kind of like freshen up things. But I was getting feedback of like, hey, all right, is BBR6 going to have its own type of merch? Right. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, I keep hearing about this. Maybe I should throw another shirt out. I think people weren't exhausted of the BBR merch that was out there, so I wanted to throw something else. And I tried a couple. I was brainstorming a lot and trying to figure out what is the theme that speaks to me. I wanted to try to fit into like, is there some type of other artist that I can try to use, or is there another album that I can try to riff off of, and try to different things. And then like honestly, it was one of those days I was driving and I was like, BBR6 rings. And I probably was listening to Drake and Future. And it popped in my head. I'm like, oh, Michael Jordan.
Six.
And then like from there it was like, all right, 6 rings, Michael Jordan, dope. So, but it can't just be that, right? So it was very intentional on, all right, now let's go think about how can I do something bourbon related with the ring. So then looked at how many picks we did this year or we're going to release. And it was like, all right, cool. Well, we've kind of done more than 6. So how do I do 6 and no one feels really left out? So I started thinking, I was going through like all right, here's the things that we're going to pick or we have picked. I'm like, oh, 6 of these are Kentucky. Cool. And we're going to Kentucky for BBR6. So it kind of like pieced those things together and stitch it. I made the 6 be like a superscript on the B on the front to make it seem like this was an exponential growth of BBR. Cause like you talked about, there's a lot of new people in here. There was a lot of, I would say the experiences, especially the bottle share, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I think it exponentially grew and now with the intention.
Right. And the other thing too is about BBR is what distilleries or what companies are we going to experience? And so how do you go about curating the brands that are included in BBR? Because we have some of the ones that we return to because they always, even though we've been there before, they always find a new way, a new thing to show us, to dive into that we can experience. But then we have new brands as well that we haven't experienced. So how do you go about selecting those?
I think it's a mix of two, right? So when you're in Kentucky, there's obviously from the feedback that we get, there are certain distilleries that no matter whether it's BBR 5, 6, 7, or 20, people want to go because of the brand that they're normally buying when they're back at home, or like the bottles that may get released or whatever it may be, right? And so like Heaven Hill is one of those things where every single time we're at BBR, we're trying to figure out what are they dropping or like what can we do there to experience something. So there's like anchors from that standpoint, but still within those anchors is always pushing them to do something different. So it doesn't seem like you guys have been here since BBR 3. You don't want to do something in BBR 7. And like I've been doing that 4 years in a row. It seems mundane. I might skip out on that one, right? I don't, people obviously can do that, but I don't want people to start feeling like it's repeatable. Right. I think a really good example is Michter's, where we've tried different things, and every year is always something different, and they completely went left field, and they took my I would say my opinions or my suggestions or what, and obviously amplified it, but they listen to me. In NDPs, I'll say this now and 100 times again, that the brands that really stick out and support BBR are like the smaller craft or NDP brands that are trying to grow and they want to grow with BBR and BBR wants to grow with them. So anyone who is down to support, not only just like host us and give us bottles or let us drink their latest stuff, but they're really down for the culture, what we're trying to do. Those are the ones that I always stick with.
Nice. Now, I think for BBR6, there's always I feel like in particularly for BBR6, there was like momentum going into this, and I believe that momentum was the BBR 0.5s, whatever, 0.9s. Talk to us about the 0.5s and the point, like what made you start doing that, and how did that influence when coming to the annual event?
Yeah, especially considering the merch that led up to that.
Right.
This cat's walking around like with BBR stuff that I ain't never seen before.
Honestly, that started after BBR 5. Maybe during BBR 5, there was a lot of growth, and there was a lot of people hitting me up like, how do I join, blah, blah. And it grew beyond the 50. And I think I've said this on the last time we did our in the show, where there's a lot of things I can't do beyond 50 when it comes to setting up stuff in Kentucky. So my thought process was, is there something I can provide at a different time that maybe is like a springtime that I can try to do something with people? Also looking at the people who are giving me that feedback. Okay, where are you based out of? Can I bring BBR to you? And I kept hearing Nashville. All right, cool. Like maybe that's something that could be something other, like some other type of BBR experience. But how can I do it in a way that seems creative? Like it's kind of like this like extending beyond the BBRs that we have in Kentucky. And so that's where we came up with the BBR 5.1. We went to Boston, did a pick. And we did the 5.5 in Nashville, did 5.9 in Chicago. And I think wrapping those three experiences, it kind of seemed like BBR 5 and 6, 7 in Kentucky is like the family reunion, homecoming type of thing.
Yeah.
The other ones are like destinations. So it's like everyone's traveling on vacation, but you have that infusion of bourbon on it. So.
Nice.
And those points are kind of last a weekend, right?
Yes.
As opposed to a whole week too.
Right.
Okay.
Great. So weekends, smaller size, right? I would say more intimate, but not as jam-packed and run around like we do here in Kentucky.
Right.
A little less of a run.
Yeah. Little walk, a jog.
But yeah, that's the one thing that I think when we noticed that there were a lot of newbies here at BBR6, I think we just kept repeating that this is a marathon, not a sprint. You said it yourself, and I'm like, that is so true. Because we want to make sure we see you the next day.
And even though some of the ones that hit real hard in the beginning, and they're like, oh, I might skip this, I might skip that, like, you don't want to skip this. You don't want to water up, catch a nap on the ride there, but you don't want to skip that.
Now, when you guys first came, right, I think a lot of the advice that we were giving to the people that were new was that it was a marathon and not a sprint. How did you guys receive that, and were we like on point, or where were we with that? Did you guys receive that?
I received it. I packed liquid IVs, different pills to make sure that I was good. So I made sure, my wife is big on that stuff. She's like, I'm going to make you this pack to make sure that you're good, because she knows that, like,
Got you.
with whiskey, I sort of get out of hand. Even though I say I'm going to have 2 pours, those 2 pours turn into 10, those 10 turn into 20. So I was pretty prepared for that. But, I mean, definitely after the first couple of days, it definitely hit me what you guys were talking about, that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
definitely wanted to prepare, make sure we were ready, and and like you said, take the pills, drink the water, hydrate, all of that. So I heard the whole it's a marathon, not a sprint, but I was already thinking that anyway. Like a week is crazy. A week is insane. You know what I mean? So,
but you made it. You made it through.
We did. And KBF is what, 3 days?
Right.
So 3 days to a week. It's a big deal. So definitely want to make sure we're prepared.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'm not gonna lie. That first night, the first morning I woke up here, I was like, okay, I was done. I was hungover because that first night everyone is trying to get acclimated. They're the new guys are meeting the old guys are meeting the new guys, and everyone is just trying to get that camaraderie together. And guys were actually bringing out bottles that were comparable to the Utopia share. Yeah. And some of those bottles, I was like, I've never seen any of these bottles in my life. I have to try this. 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 And then next thing you know, because you don't think about the forefront where everyone's like, hey, use these vitamins. You're just going about your day because you're traveling, you're trying to get there. And then the next morning, I'm like, oh, that's what they meant. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience because I'm like, I got 6 more days of this.
Yeah.
And shout out to my roommate Kev. He was like, bruh, we got 5 days of this. We're gonna be drinking all day for the next 5 days. And so I definitely was monitoring my drinking. I didn't enjoy. Not to say that I stopped myself from enjoying myself,
right?
But I was more conscious
of
the recovery process. You know what I mean? So that was.
And don't feel the pressures to drink it all.
Yeah. We ultimately just wanted to be able to let y'all know there's going to be a lot that's going to be passed around, but just that there is so much that people want to share. A lot of different bottles that are out there, a lot of different experiences. You don't got to drink it all. No. And so it's just there's a lot available, but you just have to figure out what it is that you like, what things that you wanted to try that you never, things that you just seen on social media, right? That you can finally get a taste of or whatever. So we just wanted to let people know because we've seen people kind of get too excited and quick.
I mean, we talked about it a few minutes ago, but like just having intention on the feedback. And so I wanted to make sure that, like, all right, every day I'm gonna remind you, get your water, get your liquid IV, whatever you do to get you, prepare or protect yourself when it comes to drinking, you got to do it. And I think that helps with people kind of like enduring beyond the week because it's not about just drinking as much alcohol for 5 or 6 days. I mean, yes, we want to try stuff, but it's also making sure that we enjoy it, but we enjoy it with the family and the friends that we have around us. So I don't want people to get like super lit on day 2, to miss on some day 4, but then we had like a super dope moment that wasn't even planned. Right. And so like, making sure that people are good throughout the whole entire week was one of the things I wanted to focus on.
Right.
How did you come to the decision to have us stay in Bardstown for the first half of the week and in Louisville for the rest? It's a pretty neat change. I thought it kind of shook things up as far as like being able to do stuff out in that area, kind of like get all that stuff done, and then come to Louisville and like do the rest. So
that was it was kind of like like maybe I don't want to say a gamble, but it was like, all right, let's just try and see how it works. We did the Hard Hat tour for Trail Hotel last year for BBR5, and it was one of those things where like, all right, this looks super dope. They did the grand opening, came to visit, really loved what they were doing there, and so like I want to bring the team there. I don't know if I necessarily want to bring them for the whole entire week because there are things that we want to do in Louisville. Right. Like Louisville has more of a late night scene. They have more of an early morning scene where you can just walk around and get your coffee. Right. So there was pros and cons on both. So how do I do it in a way where, again, intentional, like it makes sense. Right. And so it was like, all right, let me split the itinerary in half. Where while I'm in Bardstown, we do everything around Bardstown, and I really love that because. Being 3 miles away from Willett or 3 miles away from Heaven Hill, or going downtown, like we could pop there, do our thing, and then if people wanted to pull back or they wanted to go back to the hotel and chill, they could. Right. I mean, I saw Tony. He's laying and getting his tan. You know what I'm saying?
I took a swim.
Yeah, exactly. He got in the hot tub. You know what I'm saying? He was chilling.
I was vibing out there.
And those are things that we have never had that type of experience.
Right.
So it was like more of an enhancement on, again, the recovery, getting a chance to relax, and then you get to Louisville and it's more of the up-paced, more urban type of speed to it.
So is that something you think you're going to do going forward, or could it change back? What are your thoughts?
No, I think I want to keep doing that. The thing now becomes like, all right, so do I continue on an experiment and maybe flip it where we start in Louisville and end in Bardstown?
Gotcha.
And trying to understand what the pros and cons goes with that.
Right.
I don't necessarily think being in Bardstown the whole entire week is a thing to do because, if we want to, for whatever reason, like do Buffalo Trace or do some things in Lexington, whatever it may be, like now we're further away versus being in Louisville. And then again, like Louisville has so many different things so close to the hotels and stuff like that people can pop off and do their own thing. Right. That I don't want to take that away if we're just going to do Bardstown.
Gotcha. I think it worked out quite lovely.
Yeah.
Quite nice this year.
Yeah. No, that was really dope. Paul, I'm realizing you actually have your voice this year.
I do.
Right?
I'm shocked.
Coming through clear.
Listen, either maybe it was the excess of water and liquid IV and stuff like that I partook myself.
You followed your own advice?
Yeah, exactly. My own advice. You got to do that sometimes. Usually like day 3 is gone.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling. I can barely talk. But thankfully, so far, towards this end, maybe we'll see in a few hours. Do I still have my voice? But it's been pretty good to not have to scream over everybody, but I'm not really screaming.
Right.
So, I mean, we don't have to go through each day like we did last time because you do a good job of that yourself already. You put out dope documentaries, documentaries of each of the days, or even part of the days. I just want to shout out your YouTube channel and definitely tell everybody to check that out because I think you do a great job of storytelling. Shout out to Nakia behind the camera, but putting that all together and sort of expressing the story of the brand, but also with the BBR way. Right. So you do a great job of that. We love actually if we're at an event or just a simple bottle share, throwing that up on the background sometimes, just so people can see
kind of catch the vibes.
Of
what we're going for.
And sort of bringing that vibe of BBR, also a steady pour, but just whiskey, the industry is not what you think it is, right? Or it's not only just what you think it is. So
just that togetherness, that wanting to kind of explore your own palate and grow within the whiskey space on your own, and not have to feel like you have to meet some sort of standard to do so.
I agree. The YouTube channel Black Bourbon Run, easily go search for it. One of the things, the kid does a great job of shooting our videos, and I always try to give her the credits towards the end of the videos. I think one of the things that Pablo did that I thought was phenomenal was to give her a shout out, give her a chance to do something special because of the amount of work that she does behind the scenes. And then even YouTube now has a feature where you can kind of like Instagram where you can collaborate posts.
Right.
So now it's more than just putting her name on the video. It's like collaborating, so it shows up on her page. She gets all the reviews and stuff that comes from behind the scenes on YouTube. So it's really cool for us to collaborate and give her a chance to do her creativity when it comes to recording, and then I can sit back, go through 30 hours of videos, and piece things together. And that, I can't do that. I can't tell that story if she's not recording it in a way that makes sense too. So I think we have a really good tandem. Definitely continue doing that in the future. And I like what you said, the documentary. I think I've always mentioned that I like for the BBR videos to be like a docu-series. So when you go to the playlist, you'll see like season 4, season 5, there'll be season 6, kind of like a docu-series documenting our stuff. So we can always go back and look at the things that were cool, that made us laugh, or things that were like, oh, I remember somebody said something about this certain mash bill or release, and now it's in a video, right? So it's pretty cool to just have that all in one spot.
Yeah, and I'd say just from watching it, especially from some of the 0.5s or the 0.5s that I couldn't make, watching those videos, after watching it, I felt like I was there. So when I was here at BBR 6, I was like catching up on everything that everyone was saying or whatever references they were making. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I saw the video. I was there.
That's what's up.
It's cool that a lot of those like brands that you worked with on those like 0.5s and 0.9s were involved in this one too. Kind of came back around. It seems like the brands are almost coming to you now. As whereas before it was like, it was more of
reaching out,
right? So now it's kind of like, oh, everybody wants to get in on what you're doing. So props to you, man.
Yeah,
you built something really dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely seen it coming. We were like, oh,
the growth.
We definitely got to be a part of this.
Yeah. I mean, and I appreciate you guys. You guys have been here. Continue to be doing this every year. I love get a chance to do the podcast and supporting each other. Like I think everyone has their own swim lane, their own niche on how we want to influence the whiskey industry. And so for us to kind of come together and collaborate in one spot is really cool.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. That way we can all elevate.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one of the things that, like we mentioned before, there was a lot of newbies here. And one of the things that we like to do at Steady Pour is not to, I guess, forget where we came from, so to speak, and where there's people that are just going down the whiskey rabbit hole, if you will, right where they are. We kind of want to meet them there and say like, yeah, you're at the right spot. Come on down. Let's show you some things. So I was excited to see that there were a lot of new faces, and for them to get to experience that, and for us to be able to say or help them understand what's happening here and see them appreciate that, and walk further down that rabbit hole. What was your favorite experience in BBR 6?
Well, like I said, outside of the camaraderie and the culture, if I had to choose like a particular experience, so today I did the Willett Estate tour.
Okay.
So, as you know, I don't know if, I'm sure you guys know, I think BBR was the first to sell out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so all 3 days. So, round of applause for BBR for that. But yeah, the Willett Estate tour, there's nothing, any tour that I've ever experienced that was
comparable
like that. And then, I guess sort of piggyback off of that too, the Willett dinner on Tuesday, with that stuffed alligator, that shit was crazy. So, from what I've heard from different people, it seems like, Willett loves us. They say that BBR is their favorite, event to do every year, and it seems like every year it keeps getting better and better, and they keep trying to find, more inventive ways to make it better. So, I don't have the comparison as far as the previous years, but from the people that I've talked to, they said that they definitely raised the bar. So, for me, it was one, the Willett dinner, and then two, that, Willett experience that I did today. So,
okay,
nice.
My favorite experience actually was all the distilleries were cool. It was after coming back to the hotel, hanging out, 2 or 3 of the nights, everybody's coming back from distilleries, we're doing karaoke, everybody's laughing, and, we have the hotel just rocking, we on the side just having cigars, and honestly, guys were just bringing out pours, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, they were comparable to Utopia bottle share, and some of the bottles they didn't bring out the bottle share. They were bringing out, say, "Hey, this is for us. This is for us." I'm like, "Wow!" But everybody was just relaxing. We probably sat outside the hotel and sang Ursha. I say Ursha because I'm from Mississippi. We sat out saying Ursha till 3 o'clock in the morning. When can you do that?
Right.
Especially with like-minded brothers. Everybody is enjoying themselves. There's no beefs, there's no arguments. Everybody
just joy,
just pure joy, and you can see the joy on everybody's face.
And lighthearted joy.
Yeah, laughing,
no heaviness behind.
Laughing, everybody. I even had people, John on me. Shout out to Mike Choice. Mike Choice. He's like, "This is my rookie here. This is my rookie." And he would just, put me in a headlock and be like, "Rookie, what you doing?" But it was love. It was all love, and that was my favorite moment at BBR's. Like to see someone, walking down the hall. Hey, what's up, Roy? Hey, you good? Come. Hey, we're gonna get some coffee. Come with us.
Right.
They're like, yeah, okay. What's up?
Very inviting.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Mayweather. It's for sure the karaoke, right? Everybody that was on that van, you know who you are. Everybody that was on that van, it was lit that day. It was yeah, that was
that followed up at the fire pit.
Absolutely. That was a very enjoyable experience. I don't sing in front of people, but things got going and the vibe was flowing, and it was what it was. It was smooth. You know what I mean? So. I would definitely agree with that, and it's not often that you come across people who look like you and think like you and vibe like you and things like that, and we're both, Kelvin and I are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so shout out to Milwaukee, and I don't have any complaints.
Cool.
I thought the time frame was going to be too long, but it was perfect. So everything was great.
Cool.
Well, there you have it. We appreciate hearing you guys' perspectives, and we hope to see you guys on the next BBR event, whichever where it is, whether it's the annual ones or the 0.5s or whatever, or just even if you want to hit us up when you guys come out to Jersey, that's where we're at. We'll definitely host you. And so until next time,
words from the rookies.
Yeah, deuces.
Appreciate you guys.
And it was cool because some of the feedback that I got from, I would call them the rookies of BBR, was that no one felt excluded because they were new, that no one knew them, or they didn't feel like they had to stay in a certain clique because maybe they were like a plus one of somebody else, or even that they're not at that level of their whiskey journey like we are. They never felt like, all right, let me just drink this and not drink this other bottle that may be X price, whatever, because someone brought it in their bag and like only people from BBR2 can drink this. Like never that way. And I never intend BBR to be something where there's VIP levels in a sense. Like I want everyone to feel like they're VIP as much as possible that I can. I mean, obviously there's like things that just happened that like, all right, you just had to be there.
Right.
But their feedback was like no one excluded them at all, and I always want that to be whether you're the OG who's been here for 5 times and there's like 30 new people and like we're not ostracizing you because you're the OG, and then the rookies aren't being pushed in the corner because no one knows who they are.
Right.
And something else that I wanted to actually mention too is that we also do. There's also barrel picks that are happening during the BBR, and there have been a lot of great picks. Was any picks you want to shout out? Because I know Tone, you was on. Is there any picks that? Because I was a part of the Oakley one. I was really excited about that one. I was really excited.
Proud of Drew, man. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that being part of the team. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. We can talk about the picks, right?
Yeah, we could definitely talk about the picks. So we did. I would say. Let me remember. We did a pick with preservation.
Yep.
So we got that on sale right now. That's the BBR Super Freak. Yes. I think that was, we'll have the videos out. We obviously have it right now for sale, but amazing bottle. I think that was a very different experience from doing a pick that we did, and that's how we started the week. Then we went and did another Brook Hill. So we got Brook Hill round 2 for BBR.
Oh, nice.
That's in the works. We have Oakley pick that you mentioned. We got Mugen that we just did tonight. So we picked a Yokai. I thought that was another phenomenal experience. Going back and forth on that one. Let me see here. I think there was the ones that we did this week as far as picks.
Yes.
And so I think all of those were phenomenal experiences. If I could be completely transparent, setting up pick teams is like the most stressful thing that I do.
I could only imagine. One of these days I'm gonna get on one.
You will. So there's a certain thing that I try to do where, again, there's 50 people, right? Yeah. And there's only so many.
It's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot. And then we have certain people like who are retailers that want to be on the pick. Right. That makes sense, right? And so there's a blend that I'm trying to do of. All right, there are people who are VIP patrons on Patreon. All right, trying to get them priority access. There are people who have been doing this for a while, trying to get them into the fold. And there's also, again, trying to make sure the rookies aren't crossed out immediately. So I'm trying to get like a little bit of that. And every time I'm like, oh, I know exactly how I'm gonna do this. And I get to the week before, I'm like, fuck, I don't think this is gonna work. I'm like, cross my fingers. And there's always gonna be someone who's like, oh, I want to be on a pick team. Right. But now I'm getting to the point where. I like the VIP Patreon thing as far as getting priority, but for the other spots that are open, it's like remembering the past pick teams. So now I'm like, all right, you've done this. I gotta go give somebody else, right? And so those are things that I'm going to continue to do. And future BBRs, the BBR destinations will be good opportunities as well. Because I think for next year. I don't know if I'm opening up my playbook a little bit, but I like to do a lot of picks in the spring so that maybe they could be available during BBR 7 for people to pick up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And is that something where the people who are on those 0.5, 0.9s, all of those people get to participate whatever pick is done?
Depending on the size of the destination.
Gotcha.
So like Chicago, right?
Yeah.
We did that where the team was small enough where everyone at Chicago was able to do the Old Commonwealth picks.
Gotcha.
But like if we get to 20, then I'm back to
how
do I go?
Gotta divvy it up.
Yeah,
groups.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think people are very understanding that there's only so many spots.
Yeah.
Right. And myself, I have to hold myself accountable to make sure like the people who've been doing this for a long time, I gotta make sure they give love as well. It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
So
Do you have like a I'm sure it's not like a set number, but like, is there like a max that you try to not go beyond? Then it just kind of gets murky.
Yeah, I like to do odds, so there's always a tiebreaker, right? And for me, I like 5. I like 7. I think when you get to like 8, 9, and 10, it gets a lot. But then it just really depends on kind of like what we're picking. I think we've gotten lucky where I think Brook Hill was 8 people or 10 people, but like 8 of the 10 picked the same thing. So it's like could have done without 10 and maybe did 6 probably. But at least I now gave someone that experience, right?
Right.
So I think having more gives people that big experience, and then if I need to like kind of step in and do a veto, these are all things that I just put in my library of thinking of like, all right, so when I do next year or do something like that, like, do I want to go higher than I usually do to give people more experiences versus not have to try to pull together 10 people's opinions on a pick.
Right. Would you ever do a pick like we did with Blue Run, where it's the whole group again?
I think that would be very interesting to try to do that again. To try to gamify a little bit of a pick. It is hard to do that way because that means you are truly trusting 50 people's palates.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus, if I've done picks for, if I got a consistent person or set of people in the pick, all right, I know your profile, or I know your profile is different from mine, so we'll get some diversity on there. But yeah, I would love to do that on something that like I want to have mass appeal on a certain pick versus something where I want to intentionally do something one-off or intentionally do something that fits my palate.
Gotcha.
Right. Oh man, so I mean, I think we talked about a lot, and I think I'm thinking about those that are watching that are thinking about, should I go to BBR next year, or how do I go about getting BBR next year? What would you tell them? How can they get connected, and why should they come to BBR 7?
Or try to come to BBR 7.
Great part. Okay, so a couple things, right? So you can reach out to Black Bourbon Run on Instagram. Reach out to me, black.bourbon.maverick on Instagram. Email us, black.bourbon.run@gmail.com to get put on the mailing list. That's the easiest way. Not to say that's going to guarantee you a spot per se, but it's the first part of getting on and getting information about our bottle drops, our merch drops, all that type of stuff. I think the most efficient way, at least for me, is being a VIP patron. Right, they get first priority access on everything. So if that's something that you truly want to make sure you're at the next one, then that's your best option. Those are 2 different ways. Now, why you want to do it? I mean, everyone keeps asking me every year, how you going to make the next BBR better? Right. And I already got 2 things in mind. And so I'm not going to say it on the mic, but there's a couple of things that I was already working on before BBR 6 to make it for BBR 7, not for a destination, but to legit be for BBR 7. So those things are going to amplify BBR 7, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of momentum. I think one of the coolest things about BBR 6 that I really want to enhance, even though it probably doesn't need to be enhanced, was the Utopia bottle share. It was one of those things where, like,
I am going to be putting a video clip of that table.
It was one of those things like BBR 4s where I kind of started the whole Utopia bottle share thing of like everyone bring out your best, like, because for me, like, great whiskey is enjoyed much better when you're with friends and family, versus drinking it by yourself and doing a nice review. So Utopia bottle share came from there, and I don't know how it happened, but it got amped up crazy this year.
Oh my God! Yes, Cat stepped out.
You had to.
Even the hotel manager of the hotel I'm not gonna talk about was like, "Yo, I saw the photo." He was like, "You guys definitely need that second floor room." And then he even gave me like, "Hey, if we do it up there, we could do X, Y, Z, and this and that." I'm like, "All right, we're already talking about enhancing just the bottle share, right?" And I really think that was dope because it was a moment in time where, like, I mean, there were some crazy legendary bottles. There were people locally that like came out the woodwork for this. You got people like, you know, Dusty Bunker Dan, who's like, he does his own thing at a very high level, coming to our bottle share. And the people that he brought, he was like, yo, I've been up whiskey tastings and bottle shares. I don't know, this might be my best one.
Wow. Now, I'm going to ask you this because I've asked pretty much everybody. Just looking at that table, MSRP, how much you think was on that table?
MSRP.
We're not
even talking about secondary.
We're not even going to talk about secondary.
MSRP, I still think we were over 25K.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
way over that.
Yeah, I put it around 30, 25, 30.
Yeah, I would say 20. Like, if we're talking MSRP, now if we're talking secondary.
That's 40, 50 easy.
Right, exactly. I mean, we had over 100 bottles because we killed 13 bottles.
Yeah.
And I was like, when you look at the 13 bottles in the middle of the table and all the other bottles around it, it's like, oh yeah, we were.
Yeah. That
there was a couple bottles that were a couple grands by themselves.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I mean, the bottle that Dan brought was his True Religion pick. That's a
4,300, 4,500, something like that.
Yeah.
Daniel Weller.
Yeah, Daniel Weller was out there. I mean,
M20.
we talked about 3 hours on the bottle, right? It was mind blowing. Like, I think there was a couple times when we first started, like, we had the bottles coming in, people setting out the bottle, we were trying to organize it, we had food getting delivered. I walked in there and it was like, when it was hot, and I was like, okay, this is a lot. And I felt like I had claustrophobia a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I stepped out. Then I stepped back in and I stepped out. And then I was like, all right, let me lock in, go in there. And then I was like, I see an anchor of a bottle, let's kill it. And then we got through this like bottle killing phase, and then it was like, all right, what's the next thing that we're gonna like? It was almost like a walk around the table and see what everyone can try. You know, I think we started with like everyone had like their corner of the table where they're like, here's my one bottle, here, try some. Then it went to like, all right, I'm gonna pick up this one bottle, I'm just gonna walk around and make sure everyone has some. Then I'm gonna kill it. And it was like, I'm gonna go the other way, make sure people have this. And it was like never managed or executed a bottle share like that. And I think that was kind of dope because everyone felt like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, like there was no exclusion on. You saw a crazy bottle. Good.
Try it out.
You know what I mean? There's no like certain
There was
tables.
no like pulling out the bag, pour a little bit
No,
in the bag.
none of that.
It was all out on the table.
Yeah.
That was dope.
That bottle share brought out another side of Drew.
Yes, it did.
Just watch those whiskey bars.
I saw you over there at the microphone. I was like, oh, he's in his bag.
The energy level was high. Everyone was just excited about the bottles that were there. And it was just a really dope time, really special time.
Absolutely.
And so I could see why you brought that up to talk about why you want to be a part of this BBR experience. So if you are thinking about it, saying like you want to, please follow through on what Paul was just saying with that advice in terms of following the getting on the mailing list, Patreon. And definitely engaging with the Black Bourbon Run online, man, because they're and checking out their YouTubes too. Oh man, like I said before. So anything you want to plug or say to folks before we wrap up?
A couple of I'll give a shout out to you guys. I think again, you guys support BBR for sure. Giving the media outlet for me to go talk about things that we have done, things I'm maybe thinking about for the future to bring more people in. I think I also want to say like from my perspective, kind of just giving. I'm sure you guys are already doing it, but giving you guys kind of like my recommendations for you guys is I go to other events. Life of Lux events or whatever other events, there's a certain amount of inspiration you get from those events. I know you guys are doing your own events now, in Jersey. So
we try.
Yeah. So I really want you guys to kind of like see what things that like in BBR they're like, all right, that'd be kind of cool if we did that for our own regional spot and see how that can kind of like formulate things that you guys are doing.
Nice.
I hope that branch out that you guys are doing of like, all right, we got the media part, you got the podcast, now let's go do some more in-person things.
Right.
I hope that really becomes very successful for you guys and continues to grow. So
Appreciate that.
Yes, appreciate that. Yeah.
No problem at all.
Yeah, man, we're definitely trying to connect with the community and the folks, and sort of bring a level of that experience to them.
Yeah.
And let them know was learn about whiskey, the whiskey industry, from a perspective that they didn't think they could to receive it. So
Right, especially from kind of a beginner's perspective, the ones that aren't necessarily going to make that trip out to really go through all these big major events, but just kind of get a hint of those experiences to kind of bring to them and share with them.
Yeah. This is dope.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Well, there you have it. And I think you'll probably also hear from some of the rookies if we can get a couple in just to hear how they experience BBR.
So, first question, how y'all like our theme music? We try.
And so we're back with some rookies to the BBR experience. So we definitely had to pull them in to see what was BBR 6 like for them. What were they expecting coming? What was their favorite part? And what are they leaving here sort of with their favorite experience or knowledge or thinking about on the future? So before we go into that, introduce yourselves. What's your name?
I'm Patrick Liddell.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
I'm Raphael Mayweather, Texas, San Antonio.
Keldon Crampton, KCramp428, Mr. 2XO on Instagram.
Right.
All right, that's what's up. So, but just from us talking offline with them, they had a great time. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about their experiences. Well, you heard it from Paul,
The architect.
The architect, mother of the architect on.
Yes.
Thank you all. 'Cause
Absolutely.
you all have been, for me to be the first time, everybody's been really nice and I just love it.
Yeah. It's a family, you know.
Right.
Yes.
It's
It
glad
really
you're having
is
a
at this
good time.
point. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell Paul while you're here? He's watching.
No pressure.
Love all what you do, and we're here to back you, and we got your back.
All right.
I hear that.
Love you more.
Absolutely.
Cheers to
Yeah.
that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
All right.
Next time.
All
See
right.
ya.
Bye.
Here he is. And till next time, we'll catch you at the next BBR event.
Peace.
Peace.
Well, that concludes this episode of a Steady Pour podcast. Make sure you follow on Facebook,